I I think that the more you talk, like in case of Ben Crump, now we know who he is because of his past cases. The more he talked in front of the camera and did the CNNs, like you were just
Yeah.
on court TV late last Friday, and
Yeah.
Natasha, and I think that the more that they hear from y'all, I think that'll be critical.
Yeah.
But
You
I think
know,
it's all about privilege too. Like he has to use his privilege. And I saw
absolutely.
a comment where someone said that, did they hear me right? That I said that black men in the legal field are above white women. I absolutely said that. It's men in the legal field. That's just it. Women don't get respect in the legal field. Like that's
Mhm.
just it.
Mhm.
So you can take that as opinion if you want to, but it's fact.
Mhm.
And black women are obviously at the very, very bottom
Gotcha.
beneath any minority, whatever. Like no one respects us. We have to go in there and we have to, make sure that we don't come off as angry or whatever. I got to the point where I don't care, but it took me years to establish that position where I'm going to come off how I'm going to come off because I know the law so well and I know what you can and cannot do or say. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to, make my point in an articulate manner. But at the end of the day, like I know what hurdles I'm facing, and that's just facts. So someone from the outside can take it how they want to. But the same way that people talk about white people using their privilege to help fight this battle, stand in solidarity, whatever. Even in the protests, the white people are in the front because they're that shield because we recognize the white privilege. There's a
Right.
male privilege,
I understand.
and there's a male privilege in the legal field and basically everywhere. So if he's getting these opportunities, he can use that privilege. And I mean, when I say he, I
And he
mean
does. Yeah.
and I was going to say that, and I'm sure that he does, but everyone kind of needs to do that because they're not going to reach out to the attorney that the name is not a household name. Ben Crump has become a household name. So that's who they're going to think like, oh, I recognize this name. Let me call him and see if he can do it. So he has to say, utilize that privilege and say, no, this is the attorney that's been on the case since day one. She's amazing. I'm going to put her,
Absolutely
I'm
right.
not going
And
to do
I
this.
will say, because I don't want anyone to think that we're not. Ben is great about that. We've been
Mhm.
friends for a long time, so it's not we're just saying from that perspective
Mhm.
of practicing law as a black woman.
And I know him to know that he would do that. And he's that type of person. But that's just a general statement that,
I understand.
you have to recognize the hierarchy in not just the nation and society, but in each field, because it might be different for doctors. It might be, white males, white females, and then, whatever the hierarchy is. But everyone within their field, they know how the hierarchy is. I don't care what nobody say.
You want to take some? They biting at the bit to call in. You want to take a few calls?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay, good, perfect. I'm
What
I'm
time
putting
is
up the
it?
phone lines.
Oh, I see why you asked. 1 o'clock in the morning over here.
Oh
No,
shit!
I'm good. I'm gonna be up till like 8:30.
Okay, the phone lines are open, so guys, so feel free to call in. Now, how's the boyfriend? How has the boyfriend been throughout the whole entire process? Because he's going to be a critical witness, obviously, right?
A witness. While his charges are only dismissed without prejudice at this point, we're waiting on the Commonwealth Attorney to dismiss them with prejudice.
Uh-huh.
He in his own right has a civil case as well.
Mhm.
But how is he? Meaning he's still coping. He lost, the
Mm.
woman that he loved. They had been best friends for over 6 years,
Jesus.
dated on and off. So I mean, it wasn't able to attend her funeral.
Mm.
By all means, being there, and he's still here he didn't die. Like it, you can imagine the emotions that he's going through.
I know I can't imagine. And talk about like how important his testimony is as it pertains to the case. Would you consider, obviously he's one of your key witnesses, right? And two, do you have any hope that like something happens in the Ahmaud Arbery case where the police officer says, you know what, I'm going to testify on, I'm going to give up my immunity and testify on your behalf?
I hope so. I think there's officers out there today. Again, there were at least 8 officers out there. And after the shooting, over 100 arrived to the scene. The officer that was terminated, he disappeared for, a couple of hours. Where did he go? So there's people that know things. Like, so yeah, we always want those officers to come forward. We have a number of neighbors that we have good testimony from as well, and as it relates to them not announcing themselves of the bullets. When Sergeant asked earlier about if they reloaded, and I said, that's a neighbor that heard them yell reload and kind of heard the clip being replaced. So we got good testimony from neighbors as well.
And